Hello and welcome to the second round of the WRL Racing League F1 2006 Championship at the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne, Australia. So the qualifying results were the top four the same as Bahrain, but this time we had qualifying 2, the second qualifying session, because we had enough people to be able to split it up into 2. So there's the results of qualifying 2. Max Shepherd took pole from a very small margin over Callum Ashmore, and a much smaller margin than last time, about 10% of the size. Jacob Reid was 3rd, Dionysus Farios 4th, Ujmal Nadir 5th, Jan Vosnicker 6th, Ricardo Candy 7th, and Jeff Close was 8th. So after qualifying, the race would seem much closer than it was last time out in Bahrain, which was a good race, so hopefully this one will be just as good and maybe even better. But we'll have to wait and see as we go into that. So we're on the grid and the lights are on, and now they're out and away we go here at Albert Park in Melbourne for the second round. And Ashmore pulls alongside Shepherd. Shepherd runs wide and so does Reid, and Deer gets pushed wide by Vosnicker in the background, and Reid takes second because he managed to get on the track before Shepherd did. Now Vosnicker's going to have a look at Shepherd down into turn 3. And there's contact. I think Nadir hit Vosnicker, slowed down a little bit, and also got hit by Jake Smith, who dive bombed everybody really. Anyway, we move on to lap 2. We're looking at Ricardo Candy in the Red Bull, and he spins, and so does Nadir, taking avoiding action. And both of them are in the wall, and here, and there's more contact. Candy and a Toyota there of Jeffrey Backer has made contact on board. Now he slows down and goes onto the grass in avoiding action, but Candy just drove straight in the back of Nadir. Looking at Reid in P2, got a decent start, but he misses the first apex of Ascari. Has to cut the other one, the other apex of Ascari, but does it wrong and runs wide. And Nadir, and he gets a massive wobble. That's a massive crash. He's in the air, and that is him out of the race. And this brings out a safety car. Now the safety car going to pull in at the end of this lap, and it does. I don't think anyone's really ready for it, apart from the 3 leading leaders. And Ashmore goes defensive, and he moves again. That's some weaving there by Ashmore as we come down towards turn 1, and there's a crash in the background. There's a big crash in the background. And Vosnicker cuts the first corner. Tires obviously weren't up to temperature, they weren't ready for the start. But Reid making a move on Shepherd takes P2, but has to try and keep the position, and he can't. Now here's a replay. So it's one of the BARs just gets collected by Andrea Bortos in the Red Bull. Now it's pit stop time. Ashmore comes in, Shepherd comes in, and so does Reid. This can be, and Vosnicker as well. I don't think many people are staying out. I think fuel's limited. Reid far down the pit lane compared to everybody else. Ashmore's released. Reid's off his jacket. Could be close between Ashmore and Reid, and it is. It's really close, and Close gets held up there by Reid pulling out as well, and that's I guess he let Ashmore through, but it was slightly a dangerous release there by the Toro Rosso pit crew. But as we come down to turn 3, and Reid has done similar to what he did at Bahrain, cold tyres, and that's held up both Pimenta, who's already pitted and has managed. So this is for position with Pimenta and Shepherd. He's held both of them up, but that's allowed Shepherd through on Pimenta, and a massive gap to Ashmore. Now let's have a look at Close in the pit lane. So he goes into his box. He's not expecting Reid to go, and Reid goes. But in a way, it was better for close, because there wasn't a car on his way, and Reid runs wide and spins and faces the correct way. Not really much to say about that. Now Shepherd trying to get the cut back, and there's contact. Shepherd manages to save it, and that's going to allow Reid to try and take the position. Now Shepherd runs wide, and it could allow Reid to get a better exit. Shepherd goes defensive. Back onto the racing line. There's another weaving move by one of the top two. Going to first corner, Reid can't do anything, and Reid runs wide. And that was pit stop time. Ashmore comes in, Shepherd stays out, Reid comes in as well and runs wide. He doesn't come in because he's missed the pit lane. That's cost him a lot of time, and that could cost him P3. Reid's really not going to be happy about that. That's a stupid manoeuvre, and he's not helping himself in the Toro Rosso. Just has no steering. Just does not steer. And Shepherd spun. Shepherd has spun from lead, which would be P2. So we look in the slow motion replay. Look at the bottom left of his screen where the gear counter is, the number. It goes down to 1, over revs the engine. The car can't deal with it, it doesn't blip enough, and the rear just lock up. Now, Reid, can he actually make the pit lane this time? He does, otherwise he'd be in serious trouble with fuel. Luckily for him, he was trying the undercut, like Ashmore was, and not going full onto his limit of fuel, which would have been a disaster had he been not able to complete the lap. Where's Ashmore? Out of the last corner then. Ashmore's going to easily take the lead. They're being held for a long time. Shepherd's been held for even longer than Reid because he goes after Reid goes, and Reid was further down the pit lane. Anyway, a couple of laps later, now 6 to go, and Shepherd's caught that gap up to Reid, and it's about 3 seconds to Ashmore in front. Reid runs wide, and that's a spin. And he's going to try and rejoin the track. No, because he spins, and there's another yellow flag, and that's just all going wrong for Reid. All going wrong. Look at the replay. Just turns in too early, gets on the grass, and just can't save it. Luckily for him, he doesn't stall it. We know he doesn't use auto clutch like most other drivers, and Ashmore's off. He's lost the lead. He's had a technical issue. He's into the pits now, probably to retire after that technical issue, and that allows Shepherd to take the lead and Reid into P2. I bet Reid's kicking himself even more after a stupid mistake. And Max Shepherd exits the final corner to take victory in Albert Park, Melbourne. And that's going to give him a big championship lead. So the results are: Max Shepherd wins from Jacob Reid in second, 20 seconds behind. Dionysius Farios third, Jeff Close fourth, Paul Lazansky fifth, Enrique Pimenta 6th, Callum Ashmore 7th, and Jake Smith in 8th, who DNF'd along with every other starter of the race. In the Drivers' Championship, Max Shepherd leads with a 3-point gap over Jacob Reid. In second, Dionysius Farios in third with 7 points, Jeff Close 4th, 5 points, Callum Ashmore in 5th with 4.5 points after the red flag last race, Paul Lazansky 6th with 4 points, Baduesca in 7th with 3 points, along with Enrique Pimenta in 8th, also with 3 points, Ismail Nadir 9th after being unlucky in both races, 2 points, Jake Smith in 10th with 1.5 points, again after the red flag last race. So, in the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari lead with 16.5 points, Toro Rosso in second, McLaren third, Superga 4th, Renault 5th, Toyota 6th, Honda 7th, Midland 8th, and BMW Sauber in 9th. That's all from the Albert Park Street Circuit in Melbourne. But join us in a couple of weeks' time for the next round, which is the San Marino Grand Prix in Imola. We'll see you then. Goodbye.